Hi friends, Allison here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am sharing with you a new mixed media scrapbook layout. I am including Cricut die cuts as well. This is a layout that was designed in Cricut Design Space and then cut with my Cricut Explorer machine. So I'm starting off with ink blending in the background, and that's going to be my mixed media. I'm using some Distress Oxide ink in Peacock Feather, and the binary code stencil that I cut was cut with my Cricut. I just used cardstock to cut it because I don't have any stencil sheets to cut from. If you're in a bind, using cardstock to cut a stencil from works perfectly as well. And as you can see, yeah, I used it as for my ink blending. I wanted to add a little bit of splatters as well, so I just smushed the Peacock Feathers ink pad onto my all-purpose mat, added a little bit of water, and then sprinkled some of that on the ink blended background as well. This little wreath was cut with my Cricut. It's one of the images from the image library in Cricut. I cut it from Close to My Heart cardstock. All the cardstock and pattern paper you see in today's layout is actually from Close to My Heart. And the pattern papers that I used, I should say, because it's just one, is retired from Close to My Heart, so you're not going to find it again. But I decided to use it because it tied in my background into the rest of the layout as well. So the layout base is obviously white cardstock, and then I trimmed it down half an inch on two sides, and then I matted it to pewter cardstock, so just like a dark gray. Now I am working on adhering my title. I had two photos, first of all, that I wanted to add to this layout, but they were so similar, I didn't want them to feel repetitive if I placed them side by side. So what I decided to do was actually lay them over top of each other and then adhere them that way. You actually kind of saw me hold them up side by side, and you could see that they were quite similar. So, and I wanted to use both of them. So to get around that, I glued them together. Now at this point, you didn't see it on camera, but little Miss Kitty, Miss Ava, was hollering for some attention. So I stopped filming, turned off the camera, turned around, and we sat and had a cuddle sesh for a little bit. And then I decided, while we were sitting there cuddling, that adding some cross stitch to the wreath die cut that I added to the layout would look super duper cute. So I added just one X cross stitch near the top of the wreath, and then two kind of on the center to the left side of the photo, and then two more X's at the bottom of the photo on the wreath. And then you'll find too, when I embellish the layout, there's going to be some red circles with hearts in the center. That's kind of going to mark where the cross stitching is on the wreath. I used embroidery thread that was similar in color to the wreath in the background. And this is stuff that I ordered off Amazon. It's just your regular, it's not DMC brand, I don't know what it is, but it's just your run-of-the-mill embroidery floss. And I used all 6 strands to do the cross-stitching on. So here's the heart circles, the circles with hearts in the center that I had just mentioned. So there's cross-stitching near that red heart, and then the little item that I just added over top of that heart is a computer screen. And then on the top right of the photo, there's another heart and a little house. And then the third heart is going to go at the bottom of the wreath near the @ sign. But first I'm going to add the date. So I just stamped it onto a tab that I cut with my Cricut. I used Close to My Heart black ink to do that. And then you'll also notice that I added the journaling in a circle around the wreath. I wanted to do something a little bit different, and I don't do this very often in my scrapbooking, so it was a lot of fun to do, but I did my journaling in a circle following the wreath. So it's not perfect, but I think that kind of adds to the charm of the layout as well. Okay, so at this point in my original design, I had planned on cutting an insert that goes in that word bubble that says nerd. It's really small and really intricate and didn't cut very well when I cut it. So instead, I pulled out 2 stamp sets that I had sitting out anyways and found one that says so much love, and I thought that would work as well in replacement of nerd. I did stamp it on the side, so it's going to be sideways when I adhere it to the layout. I stamped that in black ink as well, but I think it looks really, really cute. And with that, this layout is pretty well done. I'm going to add a couple more die cut hearts that I created with my Cricut. They're also cut from gray pattern paper, and 3 of them are going to be sprinkled down near the bottom of the page, and then there's 2 more going to be adhered near the top of the photo. And then with that, this layout is done. Oh, I do add a Tim Holtz phrase sticker as well, and that's coming up in just a moment here, right here. So that's going to go over top of the photo. It's going to go where the house and heart little embellishment cluster is. I'm going to add the sticker to some papers so I can throw some foam squares behind it to pop it up a little bit. And that finishes off today's layout. I had a lot of fun creating this layout. I'd wanted to include ink blending in a background for a while, and I'm so glad that I finally had the opportunity to do that. I hope today's layout inspired you, and I hope you're having a fantastic week so far as well. The weather here is warming up and it's fantastic. I just love it. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. If you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please feel free to do so, and then hit the little bell as well so you're notified every time I post a new video to this channel. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. Here's your close-ups. I will be back again soon with more inspiration. Bye guys.